All right, so we have 2,500 gallons of rain catchment, and this client requested that the pump is making too much noise. This is their bedroom, and our solution is to install a three-way valve, and the three-way valve isolates the rain tank system from the municipal water, so the municipal water isn't running through the rain tanks and then going through the pump. It works by connecting to a float valve that's in the rain tank, and when the rain is emptied, it signals the actuator to move this valve, and it moves from rainwater to municipal. And then we're only running municipal until the float valve goes back up, the rain tanks are filled, and it switches back directly to the rainwater. There's a little diagram right here. So the black goes to our switch, which is the float switch. And then the other one, we want it on hot. Brown is the hot. We got the hot over here is red. So those three are tied together. And then the last two wires here are black and blue, which is the common. The hot is going to both the float switch and the actuator. And then the black is just kind of the control. So when that float switch is going to interrupt the actuator in here, there's a small relay in here that's going to get interrupted when the float switch goes down. So let's pretend like we got rainwater. It means it's up, there's rain in the tank, it's open, and then when the rain tank goes down, it closes. Can you see that? So now it's going straight. It takes about 15 seconds, so it's nice and slow. But the motor on here is strong enough to flip it. This is a backflow preventer. This makes it so the water can go out but not in. These are important to put in when dealing with rainwater. To code, you have to have backflow preventer to stop any potential contamination of municipal water with the rainwater. Even though that it's likely that the whole house has a backflow preventer up in front by the connection to the city, it's good to have a fail-safe. So you see this side has to be up just because this little valve in there functions better when the flow is hitting it on the bottom. And over here on the side, we have a directional flow. So rainwater is going to be flowing out. Nothing's going to be coming back in. Gotta be a little bit careful when gluing these, just not to make it too much because we don't want to glue that little valve in there shut. It's good to leave enough to cut off. So if you need to service this or remove a joint or one of these fails, to where I could cut it closer to one of these and leave straight coupling to add a replacement. If you get too close, repairing it, you have to cut off multiple sections and it becomes a bigger headache. All right, so we have our actuator plugged in. This wire is a power converter that runs along to our valve actuator, which turns on depending on our float switch. So the other cord running over here is kind of an interrupter for the hot wire, and our float switch is in our rain tanks over here. This is our float switch. We have it out to describe what's going on here. As I lift it up, this signifies that the tank is full, and we're going to mount a piece of PVC inside the tank. The float valve is going to be secured to the bottom here. There's a little ball inside here, you can kind of hear it, that sits on a sensor that when there's enough water in the tank, it's still pulling from the tank, and as soon as it drops below, that ball is no longer on the sensor, and it's gonna switch to municipal water. So right now our float switch is on the position of down, meaning that we don't have any rainwater. So the actuator three-way valve is switched to municipal, which is pressurizing these valves. So we turn this and they turn on. That's how you check, just to make sure that it is switched to municipal. You go through each valve. You can hear the water flowing. We have pressure. It's a good sign. Currently our rain tank is unplugged, so we know that the actuator isn't going towards the rain tank, because if we were to turn these on and it was connected to the rain tank, we wouldn't hear that water flowing through. Here's our completed install. We have our installed actuator coming from Municipal. Goes into the three-way valve, depending on our float switch, which is connected to it. Goes to our rain tanks. Our rain tanks, once they're full, flip the switch. Now this pump is in use, and it's going to go through three-way valve and out towards the valves. So this is leaving towards the valves, this is Municipal, and depending on where our float switch is, this is going to be either pulling from rainwater or pulling from Municipal. All we have to do now is bury the wires, clean it up, and look like we've never been here.